Hey, welcome to Blossom and Rise. It's your girl Amber Choicella, the creator of Blossom and Rise and this channel. If you like what you see on this channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's like the little button down there, I believe. Subscribe so that you do not miss videos or any type of other, well, it's other videos, right? It's just videos on this channel, all right? And if you like what you're seeing, other than subscribing, you can share the channel as well. That'd be great. All right, so it is December 31st, 2019, and I have a message from Spirit. It's collective message, okay? And I really, like, when I was doing my meditation today, I was like, okay, what is one word or like a phrase that you can give me that I can give to the mass of what, you know, the collective wants you to know, okay? And they simply made me feel like release. Release what no longer serves you, what no longer serves your highest best, all right? And I will use that to recap my year, 2019. So I went to a full moon goddess circle in Sacramento on the 14th or 13th of the month. And the majority of the women, I would say 99.9% of the women there were just like, 2019 was a horrible year. I can't wait for it to be over. And I had to look back on my year and be reflective, because in that moment, I was feeling so good. I just was in this space of abundance, right, in all forms. And so after that, and I did say that, I'm like, my year wasn't that bad. And then I look at it, and I went through a lot of transformations this year, okay? The starting of the year, I had sinus surgery. And then after that, it was good, you know, whatever. And then the next major thing that happened was my 4-year relationship ended. And then I met my soulmate. So all that happened this year, which is fucking crazy. But so with releasing, okay, so release what no longer serves you. My relationship with my ex, I will never talk bad about him because I'm not that type of person. But the facts of the matter is that the facts of the matter are English. We were no longer in alignment with each other. We've changed, right? Being with him hindered my own growth because he didn't believe in me being a medium. He didn't believe in the work that I do at Blossom and Rise. So I was hindered, and I was at a standstill with being in that relationship. We ended our relationship on the 1st of September. And I thought that was just like really potent, because the first is like new beginnings, right? I took it really hard. But inside I already knew that shift was going to happen because, well, for various reasons, I knew it was going to happen, but change is always hard. So going back to releasing what no longer serves you, that's hard, because if it becomes something of a normalcy thing, you become complacent, and then you just play that over and over and over again. But where's the growth in that? There's no growth in that. You're just staying still, you know? And right after that, I saw this post on Instagram of this woman that I had been following for a while, and her post spoke to me, and turns out like I chose to invest in myself and build my business, Blossom and Rise, and like I've done so much growth in that time. The beginning of this year, Spirit told me I was going to be traveling. And this is the second time they've told me that. The first time they told me I was going to Vancouver, British Columbia. And I never questioned it. I was just like, okay, I ended up there. Okay, so that was like 4 years ago, I think. It was 4 years ago. And they told me this year I was going to be traveling, didn't know what that was going to be like. And then in April, I think it was like March, April, I met a new friend of mine, another fellow medium, and I absolutely love her. And she told me she was going to go to the Arthur Findlay College out in the UK. It's a spiritualist college. And since I'm a spiritualist already, I was already familiar with the college. But that just felt right. And so Spirit, you know, had me create some things, and I generated all the costs needed for that trip through my business, right? So if that's not validation that I'm supposed to be going this route, I don't know what is. Okay, so I did that. I spent a week there doing their advanced mediumship course, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I found out that my grandma was also a medium, And that was super surprising. I had no idea because she grew up Baptist and she never talked about anything like that. But when I would talk to her about my experiences, she was supportive 100%. So that took me time to like not be upset about it because I was upset. It's like, why were you holding out on me? But it was a different time and I understood, but she was always supportive of me and my endeavors, right, with spirit. So that happened. Then I had to come back home and I had to move out of my ex's house, and that was tough because, you know, the breakup just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. A lot of healing had to be done with that, but neither here or there. Oh yeah, meeting my soulmate. So I met this guy prior to going to the UK. It was like the week of when I met up with him. It was October 13th. And it's so funny because both of us have birthdays that's on the 26th, and then we have birth years that end on 9. So, you know, it's like, that was a phenomenal, you know, coincidence. I don't believe in those. Anyway, and so when he entered my auroric field, I instantly was like, oh my God, I really like this energy. Like, it felt familiar to me. And he felt the same way too. We ended up staying together for 8 hours on our first date. Like, that's unheard of. Who does that? Right? We just really hit it off. And I felt like he understood me on the soul level. And that it was really intense. And it's really intense when you meet someone like that. And then we got triggered and fell back. And we did some communication. But within that time, I had to go through my healing process of soul trauma, of abandonment and fear of rejection. That's a theme in this life, even though, like, I haven't been abandoned, you know. Growing up, I didn't have any neglect or anything like that. So I know it's on the soul level. So meeting him was a catalyst for change in my own development. And so this year has been crazy. Amazing. A lot of change, a lot of transformation, right? Releasing all the things that are no longer needed. And it's not just for New Year's resolution. Like, fuck a New Year's resolution. That shit's not real. What you need to be focused on changing is just constantly growing, okay? Change is constant. It's always going to happen. You're always growing and transforming, all right? There's nothing wrong with that. So get the fuck out of here with these New Year's resolutions, because it ain't about that. Because you set yourself up for failure like that. You got to make it a routine. Make it a routine. You feel me? Like, and that's how I'm ending this year. Like, a lot of change. But I'm finally on my own. I finally have my own space. Like, you don't understand how important that is for me right now, like, to be in solitude. Like, all of my life, like most of my adult life, I spent taking care of somebody else. And now I'm taking care of me, right? And I see people like posting like, oh, I'm going to be single for the 2020 and blah, blah. I can't fuck with nobody. It's like, why would you restrict yourself like that? Don't put limitations on yourself. Don't create these limiting self-beliefs, because they do not serve you and they will not serve you, all right? There's nothing wrong with being by yourself, okay? Because when you're by yourself, you're able to heal, right? Different aspects of what you need to be healed. Like, I'm like still working on my feelings of abandonment, you know what I'm saying? And that's not my soulmate's fault. Because when you meet somebody on the soul level, there's work that needs to be done. It's way more than romantic connection. I actually did a video on that where I posted right here, where I talked about my recent download message. And that's another thing. It's just like releasing fear, because I feel like this is the case, is that his trigger set him back into a state of fear, and he's not able, like, I feel like he's working through that, but that's his reason for retracting back, like being a hermit, you know? And I can't challenge that, because that's something that he has to grow through. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is send unconditional love and his way, because I want him to be happy, whether it's with me or with anyone else, because he's a beautiful soul, and I recognize that, and I see that, and I feel that, you know what I mean? So it's like, you should always send out unconditional love for people, because you just don't know what people are going through at any given time, right? The holidays are pretty, you know, can be difficult for some people. So, you know, just send compassion, okay? Even if they act like they don't receive it, energetically they do. So I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Oh, you can see the reflection. Oh, you guys see this painting right here, this drawing? My cousin made that for me. 1 year. My family's kind of bougie. They do like they recognize family members every year at Christmas time. And I think like 2 years ago, I was chosen, and my cousin, she drew this piece of art, and it's called Discovery, and it's about self-discovery. And I love it. And now I finally have a place for me to like put it up. And so I told her, I was like, it's gonna be in the background of when I do videos. She goes, oh, really? I was like, yeah, you're kind of famous now. This cup says, speak your kind. It was something that a former client of mine gave to me a few years ago. I always just loved it. So back to, don't want to spill that. Back to Spirit's message. Release. This time of releasing, okay? We're entering into a new decade. Oh my God, 2020, that's so crazy. I'm trying to think of how many decades. Oh yeah, I've been through more than a few decades. And I'm really excited for 20s to 20s. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm excited for my growth. I'm excited for my business. And with that said, I am going to be launching my Blossom into Your Power 3-month mentorship program. Okay. This is for the woman who has experienced trauma and has created negative narratives about themselves because of the trauma, okay? Core beliefs that are negative, limiting beliefs, obviously that's negative, okay? And we work through that using spiritual development. So what does that mean? Okay, so we're gonna review the clairs, okay? The main clairs, like say clairvoyance, okay? So clairvoyance is to clearly see, right? It's energy, okay? All that's energy. Now, not everyone's a medium, right? You're born with it or you're not born with it. But we're all psychic, okay? Because we're spiritual beings, and that's interpreting energy, all right? So clairvoyantly, so we look at, you know, how to develop that, and also how are we looking at our thoughts? How do we see our thoughts? How do we see ourselves, right? So we work through each of the clairs depending on what our issues are, okay? To, you know, grow into, you know, your highest self, your best self, right? Embody the power that you are initially born with, because you're a spirit from the universe. The universe, God consciousness, whatever you want to call it, created you. You have so much power within you, okay? Like, I've been manifesting shit left and right, left and right, left and right. And that's because I understand how powerful I am as a human being, as a soul, right? And why I chose to incarnate in this lifetime, you know, what my mission is, okay? And my mission is to help people blossom into their power, which is why I created Blossom and Rise, all right? So I plan on setting that up mid-January. So like January 11th to January 12th, okay? If you're interested in that, you can go ahead and click on the link below, or send me a email, which is all that down there in the description box. So I'm also available for psychic mediumship readings. If you're not following me on Instagram or Facebook, do so at Blossom and Rise. And then Facebook, it's facebook.com/Blossom and Rise, okay? And when you do follow me, go ahead and send me a message. I love engagement, okay? If you're understanding what Spirit's message is about releasing, go ahead and drop that down in the comments down there. I want to hear about what you're releasing, okay? And yeah, so let this new year be about releasing. Release what no longer serves you, okay? You don't want to carry that shit with you. It's like the bag lady, Erykah Badu. Don't carry that shit, okay? Because you're gonna miss your bus because you got too much stuff, all right? Really. All right, guys. Well, I love you, and happy 2020. It's gonna be a marvelous year for you because you're a marvelous human being that I love. All right, I'll talk to you soon, guys. Bye.